Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to this review of Saints Row. I suppose 2022. I don't know if it's 5, 6, or 7 in the series. It's such a confusing series to watch, to play. Joining me, of course, is my right hand man, Mr. R.I.P. Johnny Gatt. How you doing, sir?
Welcome to the Saints Row Reboot 2022 review, pal. Damn it. We've got one question to ask. Is this better than Grand Theft Auto 5?
And that answer is, of course, no. No,
No.
it isn't.
No.
Not even fucking close.
No, it's not.
Absolutely not. It's not even better than the worst Saints Row game. That's how bad this hunk of shit is. Now, full disclosure, I played about 2 hours and gave up on it because it was a broken mess. And Jose, you completed it.
I've beaten the game. Yeah, I haven't 100%ed it, but I've beaten the story. That was probably about 20 hours I'm not going to get back.
Well,
Oh
you know
my
what?
God.
I salute you and your bravery for enduring the game,
Yep.
for going through it to complete it. You, sir, are the hero the world needs because I sure as fuck couldn't handle it. I played it on PC and it was a broken mess. Oh, Cheeto's here. Cheeto's here. Cheeto.
Hello.
Cheeto, ladies and gentlemen, is a big Saints Row fan. He loves it, plays it with his kids, and they do all the swearing and violence in their house as well. And he didn't want to join us for this review. He said, no, he's too good for us. So it's just me and Jose doing it.
Yeah, we'll make it
Fair
work.
enough.
But okay,
Yeah.
let's start with the. Where do you want to go? Do you want to start with the story and characters and just kind of take off from there?
Right. So I am going to kick you off with, because you played it all the way through, sir, will you take us away for the storyline?
Okay, so the story is you start out as the boss and you start out working for this Marshall Corporation task force fucking thing. And the boss goes against the fucking grain. And the boss is like, you know what? I'm going to do what I got to do to get this fucking mission done. And you go around, you kill people. And it starts off actually kind of cool. You know, you start off killing people, you go through and you ride the fucking VTOL thing. And then you go after this guy named what the fuck is the cowboy's name? I can't think of his goddamn name. Not that it matters. Uh, he looks like fucking. God damn it! I can't think of the
Danny
guy's name.
Trejo.
Yeah, he looks like Danny Trejo. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna
Yeah.
call him. Yeah, you go after Danny Trejo and you put his ass in jail, and then they
Yeah,
stiff the boss on the Christmas bonus. And then the story is, how are we gonna pay our rent? How are we gonna pay our student loans? Like what? That's your story? And throughout that, it doesn't fucking change. No matter how much money you make, the narrative is the same. It's like we got to pay our student loans off and we have to pay the rent. All the money you make and you still can't afford the fucking rent and that shitty ass
because
apartment.
it is a millennial gang that are wasting their money on avocado toast and Starbucks. And this is
Yes.
why they can't afford their mortgages, their rents, and their student loans. I've
Hmm.
seen it. Fox News has told me about it. It must be true.
Yes. But yeah, the story is just complete ass. The characters are complete ass. Probably out of all the best ones is Eli, you know, the pacifist, the dude that comes up with all the genius ideas. I thought his dialogue was just okay from what I've seen of it. But for everybody else, I'm like, this is totally fucking cringe. You got Kevin, the guy that doesn't wear a shirt. Like it's a fear, it's a phobia. He can't wear a fucking shirt to save his life. You have Nina, who's like the tech person, and she has the really cool car, you know. But other than that, nobody really stands out in this game. I didn't feel like I could identify with the characters at all, and the dialogue was cringe as fuck. And I know
We'll, we'll
people are
get
gonna,
we'll get we'll get to the
yeah,
dialogue
yeah,
next.
yeah,
And but we'll just so story wise, it's just gash,
yes,
basically rubbish. Okay, which part of the storyline, of course, you need dialogue. And in the 2 hours I played it, I was getting actually angry with the dialogue. Like it was physically making me want to punch something. It was relentless. It was like Taika Waititi and James Gunn had a bastard child and this was what they did with the dialogue. It was just never ending quips and craps, and everyone. It just like is 90s extreme. That's what
Hmm.
it is. That kind of 90s extreme era, late 90s, early 2000s extreme era where everything was like, whoa, cool. Look at me. I'm so quippy. I'm like fucking Spider-Man. I'm not saying ah! And I just it they just would not shut up. They
Yeah.
would not shut up for 2 minutes. Bang, bang, bang. Here's a quip. Bang, bang, bang. Here's another quip. Bang. Wait, I'm going to walk forward. Now I'm going to say something. I'm in the car. I'm swearing. I'm the.
Oh yeah, and then that little fucking rant that the boss does, like when it's like shit, jerk, dick, fuck, piss, cock, all that shit, and I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. This was
Oh,
so stupid. It's like, oh look how progressive we are. Oh, we're swearing. Who gives a shit? If you want to swear, listen to our asses. We swear all the fucking time on this channel.
it was just. It's. Like, who's the writing team?
Yeah,
Who wrote this thing? Kids stuck in
yeah.
the people that grew up on Joss Whedon wrote this fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was what I was trying to remember the person who I blame for these kind of stupid, quippy scripts that infest comic books, that infest games, and haven't gone away for the last 22 years. That infest everything, and it's bleeding into a lot of Disney stuff now, and it's just Whedon, this fucking Buffy cunt, for these stupid scripts where every other line had to be a joke. His stuff bleeds into everything, and it's so annoying. And it literally infuriated me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the main reason I stopped playing the game. I could have muted the dialogue, but I was just by that point, it was just so broken anyway.
Yeah.
Like I played it, like I said, I played it on PC, and we'll get to the game bugs anyway. But Jose, your thoughts on the dialogue?
Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Like, bruh, this dialogue is some of the worst dialogue I swear to God I've ever heard in gaming. And I've played like fucking the shittiest of shitty games, and this is by far one of the worst stories and dialogue for not just 2022 but gaming as a whole. How they had the nerve to charge $60 for this shit? Like it was like, whoa, aren't we cool? No, no, you're not cool at all. You're fucking lame. This shit, if I had one word to describe the fucking premise and everything of Saints Row, especially the dialogue, it's outdated. That is what I would say about this fucking game. It is
It's
beyond
20 years
outdated.
out of date.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Which another thing that's just like, well, it's not out of date, but it's like the characters that they put in this to be the protagonists is very much like Steve Buscemi walking into school going, "Hello, fellow students."
Hmm.
It was some 50-year-old twat who thought, let's make the characters like social media stars type people.
Yeah.
And that's what the kids like, isn't it? No,
Yeah,
no.
it's like if Vince McMahon tried this type of bullshit. It's like if he wrote this and he said, "We're going to try, I'm an old guy and I'm going to try to fit in with the young folks." That's what the fuck this felt like. It felt like
Yeah,
old
exactly.
people wrote this and you didn't fit in with the young kids. It's like, come on, guys. You couldn't have consulted with like people like that are like 24, 25 and got their thoughts on this, and they would have told you what would have worked. Because if you're going to go after that market, consult with that fucking market. And they clearly didn't do that.
No, they didn't. And it's like, it's like, I mean, the hipster movement is dead. Okay.
Hmm.
So even if you're going after that market died about 4 or 5 years ago now. Okay. And this is what they were trying to go for. And it's just like, this is how fucking ass behind you are. And what made Saints Row great was initially just the characters were just whatever, you know what I mean? It was a mismatch of everything.
Hmm.
And these branded characters is very much evocative of this era of these bland, vanilla ass, um, like appealing to the kind of white liberal mindset of look at our diversity, but
Yeah, we're social justice warriors.
for social
Woo!
justice warriors. It's like Who are you fucking? Who do you not remember your audience? This is just like fucking Disney now trying to corner the female market. And it's just like, do the fuck know your audience? I
Yeah.
know you want to get new people in,
Hmm.
but if you keep something to the core of what made it great, the new audience will come over. It's not difficult to understand that.
Yeah, because
But
here's
you,
the thing. Here's the thing about Saints Row. Back then, they didn't give a fuck. They went after everybody. They pissed everybody off. And why did you have to feel you had to go away from that? Because we had to get with the times. Because we got to be politically correct. Here's the thing. You're targeting fucking people that aren't going to buy these goddamn games anyway. Like that's my biggest problem. You're going after a market that's not going to give a fuck about these type of video games.
exactly. Like is somebody going to look at a game and go like, "Oh, look at these gangsters! Aren't they nice? They're very moral and ethical in what they're doing. I'm going to
Hmm.
go buy this game because it really speaks to me."
And here's the thing too that's going to piss you off because you only played 2 hours. There was a point in the game where the boss goes, "I don't want to be a gangster." Then what the fuck are we doing here?
Jesus Christ!
Like for
It's
real, what are we
like
doing here?
I know. So I know people will criticize like Saints Row 3, for example. 4, okay, I get it.
Hmm.
It was crap, but there was a natural evolution in Saints Row, which was you start off as dog bodies, then you build yourself up to top dogs in number 2, and in number 3, you're beyond the gangster stuff. Although you're still doing gangster stuff, you've got a brand
Hmm.
and you're marketable and all this, and it was such a clever step in the right direction. This one was just like, oh, well, we'll just take the name, but we won't adhere to anything that made the originals great. We'll just
Hmm.
try and branch out into something new, but something new that's also out of date and really, really bad.
Yep.
And so, so I just look, Volition and Deep Silver are now in deep shit.
Y'all are going under. I give you 1 year.
They're
You're
gone.
going to die. You're going
They're,
under in one
yeah,
year.
yeah. This is it. Saints Row
Mhm.
is dead. They're owned by the Embracer Group, and the Embracer Group is now like the biggest games company around, or one of the biggest. They have a lot of little studios, but they're now the daddy. They also now own the IP to IDOS Interactive's games and all this
Mhm.
kind of stuff. But their track record of late has been abysmal because it's not just Saints Row. Biomutant was a game I was so looking forward to,
Oh my god.
and that game was a broken piece of shit too. And then
Mhm.
Saints Row, I'm like, I love Saints Row 2 and 3. I played them not even a few months ago. I replayed for them because I love them so much.
Mhm.
This one, I can't. It breaks my heart, and it's sadly just yet another notch on the tomahawk that is the death of the old great games companies. And it's I mean, it was so broken. Like it
Mhm.
took me forever just to get into a vehicle. The camera would get stuck. The bullets would not register.
Mhm.
Uh, the
Pop in
frame rate,
texture. Yeah, pop in
chopping
textures.
textures.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like.
it was just the sound effects wouldn't play when they're meant to play.
Mhm.
Game like one mission failed out of nowhere for some reason. I just, it breaks my heart, and I know that this is it because the last game that this company made were Agents of Mayhem, which
And
was the
that
most
was
blandest.
dog shit.
It was so shit, so bland. There was nothing to it. Like literally, just should have just been a mobile game full of bullshit microtransactions because there was
Mhm.
nothing. There was nothing to it. It was that bland, and it just breaks my heart that this company now is probably last chance saloon. There's nothing else they could do. I mean, they need new creative team. They're devoid of creativity. If this is the best they could do, then frankly, let the franchise die. Let this company go under as a lesson, and we move on.
Yeah, it's over for Saints Row, but okay, going into we might as well just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. The biggest fucking problem with this game, the technical bugs and glitches are what killed it in my view. I mean, I played on PS5 and I had issues of cars dropping literally in the game. They would drop in and out of the fucking game. And the AI would sometimes stand there when you're just shooting at them. They would stand there. And the headshots really weren't all that impressive when you shot them in the head. And it felt like the bullets would sometimes just sponge off the guys. And
Hmm.
it's so many bugs and issues in this fucking game. And to add to all this too, the fucking environment in general is so lifeless. That is probably the biggest criticism I can give this game. It really
Yeah,
is. You can't
yeah.
even. There's a clip on Twitter where you go into a convenience store, you could shoot the guy and nothing happens. You can't even rob them. That's how devoid this game is.
It's just it's just ridiculous, and no amount of budget would have made this game any better. It's just, as Cornet always says, lazy booking or
Hmm.
lazy creativity in this instance. And yeah, there was just, there's a reason they just kept showing you the desert for the most part, because the city is just dead.
Hmm.
There's nothing to it. I don't think you can go into any of the buildings unless it's part of the mission.
Yep.
Well, there's a couple I think you can go into, but nothing like this. But this annoys me with a lot of open world games set in the city. It's just like, why can't I go into the fucking buildings? I'd rather have a city that's half the size but more interactive.
Hmm.
Big is not always best. Make it small, but make it so full of life and so interactive and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, the level was crap. The best we've had is Saints Row 2.
Hmm.
That city will not be beat. It was brilliant. Even all the underground caves and all that kind of stuff were fantastic. But the bugs was, yeah, just unacceptable. It's just not, and how what are you going to fix?
And I'm going to go ahead and go on a rant here when you're done, but go ahead.
I'm done. You go
Okay.
on to head, mate. I don't want to make this video too long.
Stop defending games coming out in this state. Seriously, stop. Stop defending video games that are coming out in this state. We saw it with fucking Outriders. We've seen it with Biomutant. We've seen it with Saints Row. We're seeing it in other fucking games where it's like, oh, these games are buggy and broken, but they're going to patch them. Stop saying that. We spent 60 fucking plus dollars on these games. These should not have to come out in this state. Stop. Do you want do you want great games or do you want broken, buggy, mediocre games? This shit's got to stop. It really does.
Yeah, yeah, and people defending it, which you'll
Mm-hmm.
see in like on in all these Reddit and Facebook groups and all of that. It's just like, what are you doing? Stop it!
Mm-hmm.
Stop it!
And I
The
said in
people.
my and I said in my mini rant, which you could check out on my channel, I said the gunplay is the best thing about the game. Let me elaborate on the gunplay. The gunplay itself, to be honest, even though I said it was the best thing about the game, the gunplay feels just okay. It feels dated. It feels like this was 2012. That's when it felt like this game should have been released.
Big
If you
time.
if you had done this in 2012 for $20, I could probably give it a thumbs up. I mean, it's like, okay, for a product of its time, for it being $20, and if it was 2012, it would have been something decent to play, but this isn't even that. It's 2022. We deserve better. This was 60 fucking dollars.
Yeah, $60, and it was. Yeah, it's a game that's 15 years out of date.
Mhm.
It's a game that just devoid of all creativity, should never have been made. To be
Mm-mm.
to be perfectly honest, I would have just been happy with Deep Silver and Volition going under.
Yeah, because it needed to happen. I mean,
It was,
honestly, I also got Saints Row the Third remastered out of it, so I can't be totally pissed off about it because I'm like, at least Saints Row the Third remastered is pretty fucking fun. I've had a good time playing it. It does have its issues, but at least that has a better story, better characters, better dialogue. It feels it has more life to it. There's cheat
hmm
codes. Hello,
yeah.
no cheat codes whatsoever in this
Oh, there's no
fucking
cheat
game.
codes in this one.
Nope, at all.
Oh my god. What is it with modern games and no cheat codes? I hate
Yeah.
that. Especially like I don't cheat to complete the game. I
I do
cheat
it
to
because it's
have fun.
fun. Yeah.
It's fun. I'll do the normal playthrough, and then afterwards I want to play through with some cheats.
Mhm.
It's like Age of Empires 4. They still haven't brought the fucking cheats out, and the cheats are what made the game so much fun when you're doing skirmishes, not when you play multiplayer and all that. But I don't play multiplayer. I play skirmishes,
Right.
and I love doing the cheats because they're hilarious. Big bloody tow truck coming in and crushing everything.
Yep.
Well, yeah, there's nothing much more to say. This game is a massive disappointment. If
The
I was to give
side
it a
quest,
rating,
the
sorry,
the
go on.
fucking okay, because I want to make sure we cover everything. The
Yeah,
fucking
go on.
the side quest when you eventually get to the point of taking on capital ventures, they get boring as fuck. There's a thing where you have to do 7 toxic waste dump missions where you go get this truck, you bring it back. There's the laundromat side quest where you go and you take cars and like you dump them in the river. You run over them with a monster truck. You dump it with a freeloader. That kind of shit, and you can start up clothing stores and all that kind of shit, all this to make money. But like I said, the premise remains the same. We still got to pay off our rent and our student loans despite having millions of fucking dollars. And once you beat the game, that's when you unlock outfits like you could turn yourself into a toilet, you could be a bag of money, you could be a fucking pile of dust. You don't unlock that shit until after you beat the story, and all those outfits are $25 million a piece. It was as if they
Jeez.
said, it was as if they said, "Fuck you. We're gonna give you the good shit after you beat the game." That's what I can't stand about games like this, and
Yeah,
where
you
it's
have to
going in
suffer through
general.
the crap to get to the good.
Hmm.
And it's just like, oh, come on, dude. Just give it to me from the offset and let me play how I want to play,
And
just like I used
there's
to play the other games.
and at the moment there's no replayable missions, which I think is a big fuck up on their part. I mean, if you're gonna give me something, at least give me replayable missions. That's the bare fucking minimum. That's all I'm asking for. It's not like I'm asking you to, completely rewrite the game because at this point you can't fix it. The most you could do is just say, we're going to give you replayable missions, and that's probably about as good as it's going to get. Because other than that, you can't fix the bad writing. You can't fix the bad characters and storyline. You could fix the bugs and glitches and maybe add replayable missions. But other than that, there's no saving Saints Row.
No, no, it's done for. I can't believe you can't even replay the missions.
Hmm.
That's that's just ridiculous. Jesus Christ. Okay, I think
Yeah.
that's. I think we've covered all the bases of this game. Out of a 10, I'll give this game a 0. Jose.
Yeah, this is honestly going to get maybe, yeah, about a 1 from me. I'm like, this is some bullshit, man. I'm like, oh man, I'm going right back to Saints Row the Third remastered. I fucking beat the game, I uninstalled it, and I put it right in the hidden section on the PS5. That's how
Yeah,
bad this fucking game
yeah,
is.
fuck this game, man.
It's to where I never want to see it again. It's so bad.
Yeah, I did not pay for my copy, if you know what I mean, and
Yep.
I've uninstalled it already. And screw this game.
Yeah.
It's devastating because, I mean, look, GTA 5. I just was not a big fan of. I think like
Oh yeah,
the way
Let's talk about GTA 6 before we go. I'm
we
worried.
will. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, I'm worried from a storyline perspective.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm more worried from a monetization perspective with when it comes to 2K, because they've sucked the life out of everything.
Mhm.
Again, I would like if you see how bad Red Dead Redemption was online. Red Dead Redemption
Yeah,
Online was
single player was fucking great, but
brilliant,
yeah.
absolutely fantastic, but online was atrocious. And GTA 6 is just going to be like, well, we can milk these cunts for all their money,
Mhm.
so we're just going to do this. My I always joke that people are going to have to stop for put petrol. They're going to have to pay their mortgage, their
Mhm.
bills,
Yep.
take their fucking kids to school.
I could
Pay
see that.
all their
I could even see.
taxes.
I could see that in Grand Theft Auto 6 because they've said, "Fuck you, we're taking the fun away. We're going to make it serious. This is a world. This is relationships and all that kind of shit."
Yeah, all this
And
kind of stupid shit.
I think honestly, dude, I'm not paying for Grand Theft Auto 6 if you know what I mean. I'm not going to pay for it when it comes out. I refuse. I'm not doing
Oh,
it.
yeah. I mean, I have no interest in getting it anyway. Like I said,
Yeah.
like GTA 5. I didn't like GTA 5. I didn't even like GTA 4. I
4 is
like
when they started losing it.
Yeah, because they went too realistic with it. It's like fuck off. I don't want realism in my fucking games.
Yeah.
I don't. That's
Yeah.
why I love Saints Row,
Mhm.
because there was no realism. It was over the top.
Yeah,
This
it was
went too realistic. And GTA 5 was so boring. The GTA Online. everything's so heavily monetized. You have to grind for everything. It's just like no fun. And you smack someone, the fucking police show up. It's just no fun games. I
Yeah.
don't have fun with their games. I'll give them one thing that the collision mechanics and their fighting mechanics are the best in the world. They're
And I'm
hilariously good,
yep.
but everything else pisses me off.
And I'm just going to
Um,
ask you this before we go.
yeah.
Have we seen the death of open world games? I think we have. To a large degree, I think it's over.
No,
Uh,
no, I don't think so.
well,
No, no.
as far as sandbox, I mean, sandbox, I think it might be over.
I don't think so. No, I think they're
Mm.
going to get bigger, blander, free to play with crazy micros chucked in.
Mm.
The the ones that we kind of used to, the open world games in terms of gangsters, like
That's over. Yeah.
just wars. You said that shit looks like it's on its way out. But
Hmm.
in the fantasy realm, that stuff is only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm not saying necessarily better, just
Yep.
saying it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Uh, so sadly, no, we have not seen the end of it. But look, I've made a prediction that the game revolution is coming thanks to Unreal Engine 5, where a lot of indie studios are going to be able to make phenomenal games using that engine.
At a cheaper
It's the
price,
same
I
thing.
hope.
Huh?
At a cheaper price, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, indie studios always charge like $30, $40 for their
Okay.
games, and some of them are amazing. They don't have to be massive open world. They just got to be like fun. And
Hmm.
there's stuff that's stuff that's probably been made. I haven't seen anything yet, but that's gonna blow us away. So in the next 2 3 years, we'll see that.
Yep.
But if I'm wrong on that, then we're fucked.
Yeah.
Games companies just gonna get sold off to private equity firms who are just gonna bleed everything dry, and the industry will just be in chaos
Yeah.
and all over the place.
But in
So
short, do not buy this fucking game. Don't do it. Don't do
no,
it.
no, fuck
Get
Saints
the
Row.
get the remastered version and call it a day. That's all you need to
Yeah,
do.
that's it. I just live with Saints Row 2 and 3.
Yep.
Remember the good times, and that is all. Okay,
Fuck
that's
you,
it.
Volition.
Yeah, fuck you. Go under. We've ranted off long enough. Jose, thank you for joining me,
Yeah, thank
and
you.
for the rest of you, for the one person that's currently watching, and for anyone who makes it through to the end of this video, join us later when we are going to talk about She-Hulk. Is episode 2 any good, or is it as bad as the first one? We ain't going to say shit until later, 11:30 p.m. UK time, and whatever time that is in your neck of the woods.
Hmm.
So that is all, and live long and don't prosper if you're a conglomerate or a AAA games company. Bye.